Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Raising Vibrations. Today, we're going to be doing Chart of the Day. So this is for the 31st of October, 2015. I really hope that everyone's good and you are alive and feeling spirits within you. So today, what you're looking at is a couple of things. So firstly, we've got the moon in Cancer. I really hope that everybody enjoys the new way and formats that I'm going to be bringing these to you. I'm having loads of fun, like putting everything together and kind of finding some creative flow over here. It's definitely one of the ways that I enjoy expressing my own consciousness. So we have the moon in Cancer, and we have the sun, or should I say the burning flashlight. That's why I've got that over there, the bright light. You can even see how it connects to that part of the moon. Little Virgo details. Anyway, the bright light is still in Scorpio. You can see that at 2 degrees, 7 degrees over there, 7 degrees Scorpio. And 2 degrees is where the moon is. So today I felt like really tapping into what immediately hit me, and this was the water trine that is present here. Even though the moon is not really at 7 degrees, it does move fast. So, this will be definitely active for at least the day. And you've got 7 degrees, and as I said before, oscillating there. So this is a tight water trine, and I love speaking about the water trine. And the reason why is because, in my opinion, the archetype within our consciousness has been heavily sort of alienated, suppressed, pushed away, not promoted, is the archetype of the feminine. And there's nothing negative about this. It just means that was we haven't really practiced this within our collective consciousness. We've kind of searched for higher meaning. So the natural water elements, i.e. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and of course the earth element, which is also feminine, is Capricorn over here, Taurus there, and Virgo there, and they kind of connect as the defined feminine archetype. But the water trine in itself, to specifically speak about it, and the reason why I say it's my favorite is because it's the nature of evolution, okay? We evolve through our emotions. So I'm sure you can think of a time in your life where you weren't motivated to do something. And when you did try to do something that you weren't really motivated through, it was a very difficult experience, especially emotionally. Yet when you were like really, really amped and excited, and you were bringing through a great feeling of, I've got this, I'm going to do this process, you felt it was quite an easy flowing experience. And the water is an element within our body or our bodies that allows us to flow with ease. So if we're emotionally not engaged in something, then the nature of how we're going to move in the collective consciousness or in our collective field is going to be slightly like thwarted, okay? So evolution itself, through the archetype of the water trine, is the nature of how we actually evolve emotionally, not emotionally, but how we evolve as beings. It's the emotions. So if we've suppressed them, if we've kind of like buried them, right, and this is not something we purposely did, it was just, our non-awakened state. Because that's been sort of buried for quite a long period of time, it's easy to recognize why there's so much dis-ease in people that haven't moved emotion, shifted emotion. And that would be still water. And that still water is because of the nature of the suppressed feminine archetype and what that symbolizes and what that means in its most highest essence. So nobody moves. We don't evolve. Or we do evolve, but we only evolve due to forced evolution, which again will naturally occur as an emotional shock. And we experience these emotional shocks in our lives when somebody dies, for instance, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Because what happens here is that the archetype of Scorpio is the core of something, right? But Scorpio also correlates to the nature of transmutation. So every time you've had like an emotional blowout, you felt the emotions, you were living them, and then you kind of like, simmer down a little bit. It's in that moment of being struck with that whirlwind, do you really confront the nature of these internal emotional experiences that are with you. So Scorpio is that part where you really confront it and you connect to it, and there's a nature of interaction on an intense level. And then the Pisces archetype kicks in, and that's like either you're confronting the feelings within yourself of disempowerment through the illusion of victimization. So what happens here is that you feel your consciousness is existential, your security is placed outside of yourself, and then something happens, right? Somebody does something to you that you feel like it's happening, they're doing it on purpose to you, and so therefore you feel victimized by the situation. And what happens, that's where the Pisces archetype kicks in, and it goes, look here, this is within yourself. This is a conflict you're trying to seek within yourself. You're trying to resolve it within yourself. So you've got to look within, not in the outside world. The outside world is a reflection from within. So Pisces, as it connects to Scorpio, is that nature of when things are removed from us, or we experience disillusionment, or we have the securities that we've placed outside of ourselves removed, then what happens is we experience the loss, okay? And this is the loss, i.e. the dissolving of the fabric of reality connected to the ego structure. Remember, Cancer correlates to ego, and the reason why is because when you're consistently doing something every single day based on the need for security, okay, you then start to develop a series of, or a pattern of behavior, and that pattern of behavior becomes essentially how you identify yourself as. So naturally, if you're in a specific situation that has been like this for, say, for instance, 3 months, and you come to this point where you can no longer hold the intensity of the emotional field that needs to be confronted, Scorpio, that then allows for resolution or dissolving, Pisces, and then that becomes that actual reality ends. It's like, look, I've confronted it. Everything's in the open. I can breathe again, right? Breath. And so now I feel space inside of myself again. That is where the loss comes. It's the dissolving of that ego identity, that sense of continuing along that process. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, in something like death, for instance, somebody passing, basically what you're experiencing is the loss of their physical essence not being present. So the brain loses its mind a little bit and goes, okay, so this person's not here, so therefore they're gone forever. And it's like, yes, that's true from the point of view of the physical body. However, their essence and spirit is still with you. You've just now got to see and learn to feel interdimensionally. Now, of course, the experience is still not the same, naturally, because there's an element of incarnation that is missing, i.e. the physical body, the physical interaction, the physical presence of spirit there. But now this person is with you in ways that are on a more higher level. So what I'm trying to share with you here in terms of loss and putting all these concepts together is this little diagram on the left-hand side here, okay? And any of you that have watched my videos will know that this material is something that I always talk about because I feel like it's one of the most important things to understand if you're really, really, truly, in this game, in the universal game of creation. Like, this is it. This is a great template to understand, like nature and ourselves, and to access these different layers. And you can see that the water trines here, 7, as I said, oscillating between 7, and again, the sun sitting at 7. It's trining them. So what you have here is Neptune, okay? Now imagine that this is the ocean, and this is called the ocean and the wave analogy. And there's many different ways that you can explain this. But for astrology and the language that we use, we're going to use this language to facilitate this deeper truth, okay? So what we have here is we've got the ocean, Neptune. Every single thing that exists in this platform over here is completely and utterly connected. You are source. The ocean is not divided. There is no duality. Pisces, as you can see there, the connection. And so what happens here is we have Pluto, i.e. Scorpio. From the ocean arises desire. So therefore, desire emerges out of this process, causing an energetic wave. That wave is then propelled by this intention. That's why, to me, there is no other planet in the zodiac, from the point of view of understanding archetypes within your subconscious, that that doesn't correlate to, let me put it to you this way, choice and desire always correlates to Pluto, no matter what, because no matter what you do, you always begin with a desire/choice. And you can see it simply in your life just by wanting to watch this video. You clicked on it going, I want to seek information here. I'm interested to hear what this dude's talking about. That is a choice. That is desire. That is Pluto. It separates you from the nature of your space that you were in prior to that, and now you're in a different timeline. Okay? So Pluto, choice, desire. That's why when you work with evolutionary astrology, it goes, what is the bottom line here? What is the choice, the causal factor for in this incarnation? Once you get that straight, then you can understand why you're here. It makes absolutely no sense to try and understand your deeper spiritual understanding if you're going to look at your sun, moon, and ascendant. It's just simply not going to give you the underlying stuff. You're going to be looking on the surface. So we have Pluto desire. Okay, that's Scorpio. Now, the connection between Scorpio and desire is that when we separate ourselves from the ocean under the illusion of the separateness, it leads us into circumstances and situations where we then are alive. So right now, every single one of you that's watching this video has a separating desire. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. This leaving you in a situation that every experience you are having in this holographic universe is teaching you about that desire in some way, shape, or form. The way that you make a connection to that desire, which is inherently unconscious for most of us, is through the moon, i.e. the ego, right? And its nodes. Now, each of these planets themselves or archetypes themselves have nodes. And it's a very straightforward thing. Everything that is in existence comes from something that is prior to what it was in the moment. Therefore, even Pluto has a south node and north node, which I'll get into in another video. I'm already compiling some amazing stuff for everyone and feeling super inspired about it as well, like really connected to my heart in that way, and can't wait to have that video out for you. But coming back to this again, so you have the moon. That moon connects to that part there. And the way that we make that connection is through Scorpio, through Pluto, through our desires. So when we are sort of moving through our lives and we experience something, in every moment, we get a choice. Are we going to empower ourselves in this moment, Scorpio, Pluto, or are we going to feel disempowered, Pluto, Scorpio? There's two of them. The disempowerment is the realization or the illusion of separateness, i.e. that you haven't chosen this incarnation to experience yourself, to understand why you've separated to begin with, so you can return it. Or you understand that process and go, every single experience I have is showing me more about what it is that I am, i.e. reflecting. And that's why the moon, in some way, shape, or form, is identified as that reflection. It's that plate, it's that layer within your multidimensional state of awareness that is first. It's the physical body, and then the moon template, which is identity. That's why if you recognize the outside world, the false light I talk about is the reflection coming from that moon template into your subconscious about something that is telling you a lie, telling you not truth. I search outside of yourself, follow that trend, do this over here, identify that over there, instead of seeking from within. And the moment that you make that correlation within yourself, you can actually start to identify how much of the outside world is pulling you away from seeking the source from within. Because if you recognize that, you'd be empowered straight away. And nobody wants an empowered being, especially when you're talking about global politics. So coming back to this conversation again, this diagram over here, when you run this process going Neptune, Pluto desire, moving into, and then what happens is the ocean moves like this, okay? The ocean itself is the entirety of everything. But unless you actually understand this completely, you will always be creating separating desires that will literally separate you from the source, i.e. that's why you were born. So you go along this process, you have the separating desire. So in this case, you're really, really excited about getting a new laptop. And the moment you get the laptop, you're like, oh my God, this is bliss. This is amazing. I found love. And then literally within about a small period of time, you come to this realization that there's now something more I need. And what you're actually trying to seek is to that love that is in that connection that is from within. So as Neptune, here again, is squaring Saturn at the stage in Sag Pisces, what is being offered here is that lesson of Neptune finding inspiration and then anchoring it into your physical incarnation, Saturn, right? So it's like connecting to spirit, Neptune, and finding it and then bringing it into the physical, Saturn, okay? And that becomes your story, that becomes your truth. And when you align it with this understanding that your inspiration, desire, search for yourself comes from direct experience, Saturn or Sagittarius, you'll start to become aware of aligning the water trinity, aligning your desires or let me put it this way, aligning your desires with the realization that you're a source and using the ego identity as a vehicle for facilitating this entire process. So instead of you going like this across horizontally, you're now going vertically, which is feeling connected to source, understanding my desire, using the moon or self-identity as the vehicle to carry out the realization of what this desire is about so that you can return. So it's about going back up there and coming back down and going back up and coming back down. Feminine archetype, masculine archetype, feminine archetype, masculine archetype. This makes sense. The nodes themselves just reflect to us the nature of how you're transitioning between every single moment, okay? All right, guys, very, very short sort of chart of the day in terms of symbols that are going around here. I felt that this was something I was guided to speak about. It came naturally through to me, although there is a couple of things I just wanted to add some information. Mercury is going to go into Scorpio within the next 2 to 3 days, so you'll probably notice that change. It's out of its shadow period for at least a couple of days now. Saturn is making that quincunx to the Cancer moon. That won't be for a long period of time. All that is just like aligning one's sense of identity with a philosophy. So again, the major communication that I'm sharing with you here is understanding your Neptune, understanding your Pluto, and understanding your moon. You are the source. Okay, so here's a better way to explain it. You are not a drop in an ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. This is the understanding here, is that we all are coming to understand ourselves through our separation. And the more that you understand that relationship between the separation and the return, the more you are deepening your sense of spiritual awakening within yourself. That is the key. Everybody goes around saying, I'm trying to find myself. It's like, why? Why are you trying to find yourself? You already are yourself. What you're trying to do is use some programming to try and figure out where you are under the assumption that you're lost. Does this make sense? You've got to recognize your beingness as all being complete, and then your expression is reflecting to you the nature of that beingness, which then discovers yourself more. So it's about basically turning the Hubble telescope inward. Instead of looking out into the distance over there, revert it. Okay, so that's all this Virgo stuff here that's coming on. That's self-analysis, that's self-reflection, that paralysis. Let's stop, let's observe stuff here first, and then connect this water trine experience. It's an amazing day for this type of stuff. So I hope that was inspiring. I know it was a little bit longer than usual, but definitely write to me in the comments, everyone, what you felt about this. If there's anything that I could maybe explain further in the next video, anything that you think I could talk about more, please share with me your ideas, because I don't know if you've noticed, but this is something that I absolutely love doing. And the more I can inspire you to be just infinitely awesome, then I'm making myself happy and I'm realizing my separating desires. So thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it. If any of you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button now and like it and share it with anybody that you feel this is worth listening to. And if anybody is interested in the membership program that I've got running at this stage, just click on the link in the description below, and that will take you straight there. You can look at the different types of options that I'm offering at this stage. Everything is consistently evolving at this point in time for me. So as I sit here today, whatever I've created is based on what I feel I know I'm doing, and it's just going to get bigger. There's another video that I'm going to be creating within the next couple of days as soon as I've got some space, and I want to illustrate to you exactly what I'm doing with Raising Vibrations, because I'm here in terms of my personal message and my personal mission to awaken humanity. And as I awaken humanity, I awaken myself. So in this next video, I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing with Raising Vibrations, the Leaders of the New Paradigm program, the Metamorphosis program, the introductory program, the membership, the astrology schools. They're all designed specifically to train us and to get us into spaces where we are just simply awesome, and that it's our turn now to rock the world. All right, everyone, thanks for listening. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Bye-bye.